Hey there, welcome into the show. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and here's everything that's coming up. Yesterday, the 49ers made multiple big money moves. What do they all mean for San Francisco? Is a major move coming down the line for the Niners? We'll also give you a Niners salary cap update because the Niners right now have the most cap space in the National Football League by far. Stay tuned for those digits. First, speaking of numbers, my goal is to get to 138,000 subscribers before Monday Night Football. I think that we can certainly do that. I think that we can do that with this show alone, though. We are 34 people away from reaching that milestone. So if you're coming across the show for the first time and you're looking for Niners content here on YouTube, which gives you shows every single day that are informative, insightful, entertaining, thought-provoking, that involve you, the fan, hit that sub button right now and let's go. As for the Trent Williams contract, talked about the breaking news yesterday morning after hitting the gym. Don't mind me, I was so sweaty on that video, but I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. And we do have some Trent Williams contract details that were not available when I hopped on the microphone and broke that news down. It is a revised 3-year, $82.66 million contract for the best left tackle in all of football. That includes $48 million at signing for Trent Williams. On top of that, there is a signing bonus worth nearly $26 million, and Trent Williams was under contract for 3 more years at age 36 on his previous deal. He is still under contract for the next 3 years with this new reworked deal. He now also becomes, this year in 2024, the highest paid NFL offensive lineman this season. He had become 6th among the highest paid offensive tackles after the offensive tackle market reset, with players like Tristan Wirfs and Penei Sewell and Christian Darrisaw getting some of those new lofty contracts, and that's a big reason why Trent Williams held out. And as we've talked about here on the show, Williams did have those 3 years remaining on his contract. None of that money was guaranteed. So he gets upfront money, he gets guaranteed money, and he gets the most money among all NFL offensive linemen this year. So the Niners able to check off those boxes for Trent Williams. Of note, too, he also said that he wanted to come back to the Niners, and he rushed this process, or at least got the wheels moving, after Ricky Pearsall got shot. He wanted to be around the young players and have his voice and his presence in the locker room. And speaking of that presence, he was on the practice field yesterday on Tuesday in Santa Clara and wasn't really doing a lot. He did throw on a helmet. George Kittle was on the microphone, and he was quoted as saying, "This dude has aura." He really does. The way he carries himself, swagger, physicality, most feared offensive tackle in the game probably, somebody you don't want to mess with on or off the field, and just a one-of-one player and person in the National Football League. So it's great that San Francisco was able to get this deal done in hopes that he can play Week 1 against the New York Jets. What Trent Williams also wanted as part of this reworked deal, long-term financial security. He gets that as well, and he said he wants to play until he's about 40 years old, maybe even when he's older than that. He mentioned and referenced Andrew Whitworth of the Los Angeles Rams being in his early 40s, still playing elite football and winning a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams. I know that the NFL sometimes stands for not for long, but we have seen some of the great offensive tackles over the course of NFL history be able to play top-notch, upper echelon football into their later 30s and in their early 40s. And Trent Williams in 2023, as advertised. I know some people like to say, Trent Williams, his play has declined, 36 years old. I'm really worried about him getting some of this guaranteed money because his career could be over very quickly. He could become washed overnight. Look, every year that he's been with the Niners, he's truly been an elite player. And in 2023, he was once again fantastic. An all-pro player in 2023. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 89.9. Pass blocking grade of 79.8. Run blocking grade of 90.1. How much money would you have to get paid to try to take on Trent Williams when he's out in space on one of those pull blocks? Let me know down in the comment section. Only 9 penalties, 0 sacks allowed of Brock Purdy last year when Trent Williams was playing left tackle. That's significant. You got to be able to keep your quarterback upright and healthy. Only gave up 3 quarterback hits, 18 total pressures, and that coming on more than 800 total snaps, 438 pass blocking snaps. Isn't this crazy as well that in the last 2 years combined, Trent Williams has surrendered 1 sack in his last 983 pass blocking snaps? That is not a player who is declining in my eyes or on paper. This is a deal that the San Francisco 49ers needed to get completed because they are not a Super Bowl contending team without the services of Trent Williams. You take him off this offensive line, it might be the worst unit in the National Football League if Jalen Moore has to line up at left tackle. But now going into week 1 against a very highly regarded front for the New York Jets, if Trent Williams can play and Aaron Banks can come off that pinky surgery, this will be your starting 5 up front for San Francisco. Trent Williams at left tackle, Aaron Banks at left guard, Jake Brendel at center, Dominic Pooney at right guard, and Colton McKivitz at right tackle. The offensive line depth, it's a little bit up and down. I don't know if Jalen Moore would be able to successfully fill in for Trent Williams if he were to get hurt or if he can't play in week 1. Hate what I saw from Nick Zakelj throughout the preseason at left guard. He might be more of a center. You have Ben Barch and Drake Nugent as backup centers, Dominic Pooney and Spencer Burford there at right guard. I still think there's a better football player in there for Burford. And then Brandon Parker brought back on, to the active roster, but he's not a great backup right tackle option behind Colton McKivitz. Still to come here on today's show, Deebo Samuel got his contract restructured. Maliek Collins got his contract restructured. And now the 49ers have a plethora, a bevy, a ton of salary cap space. What does that mean for San Francisco moving forward? Stay tuned to find out. We're going to try to dig deep and find the answer to that question. I want to welcome another sponsor back here on the San Francisco 49ers Report for the 2024 NFL season, and that is ZBiotics. Get 15% off when you use the promo code CHATSPORTS. This is a product that I absolutely love, especially for those of you who tune into our watch parties. You know that we go hard. Pre-alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. And when you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol by ZBiotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to drink this probiotic before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. The first time that I tried ZBiotics was after a watch party last year. As instructed, I drank a bottle of pre-alcohol before any alcohol. I was amazed at how good I felt the next day. Have you ever skipped a workout because of drinks the night before? Me too, but I don't want to do that any longer because I love my daily fitness regimen. If you're committed to your healthy routine this year, you need ZBiotics pre-alcohol. We all have busy lives these days, and we can't afford to waste a day stuck on the couch because of a few drinks the night before. As I get a little bit older, sometimes you're not feeling so hot the next day. ZBiotics pre-alcohol is the answer that I've been looking for, Chip has been looking for, that the faithful has been looking for, because we like to live it up, have fun, go hard, but work hard and accomplish our fitness goals. So let's face it, after a night of drinks, don't always bounce back well the next day like I used to. I have to make a choice, and I can either have a great night or a great next day or just do both. And I was able to do that with ZBiotics. So I kept hearing about pre-alcohol, wonder what it was actually like. Now I've actually tried it, and I believe the hype. And with this technology, they will release different products that have nothing to do with alcohol. So stay in the loop. Go to zbiotics.com/chatsports. You can also scan the QR code on the screen, bottom right there, to get 15% off your first order when you use the code CHATSPORTS. ZBiotics is backed with the 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Next up, as far as the big money moves made by San Francisco Cisco, a Deebo Samuel contract restructure, that saves the Niners $16.4 million in cap space for 2024. In doing this, this will also lower Deebo's cap hit, and it will alter his base salary. Of note for Deebo's contract, no more guaranteed money left after this year. He was asked about that a few weeks ago, and he said, I knew what I was getting into when I signed that deal during the 2022 NFL offseason. I do think this is somewhat noteworthy because we've been talking about the future of Deebo Samuel. In a Niners uniform, if San Francisco were to pay Brandon Ayuk because of the no guaranteed money left on that contract following 2024. But by pulling off some financial gymnastics here, now if the Niners were to move off of Deebo next offseason, they'd have to eat more money because they're kind of reverting some of that salary. So moving off of him next year makes that decision or that move even harder from a financial standpoint. And then there's Maliek Collins, the defensive tackle who the Niners traded for after getting rid of Eric Armstead. I think he could be an X factor for this team in 2024 against the run and against the pass. He's a really good player. He had his contract restructured to free up about $5.5 million in 2024 cap space. So, according to Spotrac and Over the Cap, the Niners have a lot of money at their disposal this year. Now, according to Spotrac, I don't think these numbers have been updated yet because there's such a big gap. San Francisco has about $45.5 million in cap room. Per Over the Cap, I think that they have applied these restructures and these money moves by San Francisco. They have the Niners at $65.5 million in cap space this year. That is number one in the NFL. It's really impressive how San Francisco is there despite all of the hefty contracts that they are currently paying their players. What does all of this mean? Could the Niners make a big move now? They could to upgrade the roster. They're a little bit light along the defensive line and at backup tight end. The 49ers could also be planning for the future. That's what all good businesses do. Cap space of note can be rolled over. So if the Niners don't use any of that $65 million in cap space, it can be rolled over to next year to help the Niners absorb the 2025 cap number, which right now is not good. San Francisco is $38.1 million over the cap. So you roll that money over, and you'll still have a lot of cap space available with some contract restructures, players coming off the books, trades, and cuts that could take place as well. Lastly, this is what smart teams do. And for all of the nerds in the comment section who are always saying, Chase, the Niners aren't going to make this move. You told me that about Christian McCaffrey. You said that about Javon Hargrave. You said that about Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, George Kittle. The Niners able to pay all of those players, right? Because they can work the books like this in a very smart fashion. Couple of organizations are very savvy with the cap. It includes Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles. It includes Andrew Berry and the Cleveland Browns. It includes John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, Parag, Jed York, and the San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of the future, looming contract extension candidates and or upcoming free agents. If Brock Purdy balls out again, you might have to pay him $50 to $60 million per year. Talanoa Hufanga on an expiring contract. He was an All-Pro in 2022. Diamador Lenore, that's a player who the Niners spent a fifth-round pick on. They've seen him become one of the top corners in the game. He's everything that the Niners are about as an organization. And there's been some chatter that San Francisco is working toward getting a deal done with him. Charvarius Ward, an All-Pro last year, he is on an expiring contract, and the future of Dre Greenlaw up in the air, especially after that torn Achilles, but he too, a player who the Niners could move off of after the 2024 campaign. So with that, you can put on your general manager hats here. What should the Niners do with all this cap space? Let me know down in the comment section. Thanks for watching. If you're still kicking it with this, you're a real one, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.